call this session to order. Wednesday, March 7th. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, visitor comments. Okay, deliberation annexation of 2130 Gable Road, JLJ Earth Movers LLC.
So the easy motion would be as recommended by the Planning Commission and staff, if you're looking for the quick and easy way.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, a motion's been made and seconded to approve as recommended by Planning Commission and staff. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Okay, ordinance, first reading. Ordinance number 323, an ordinance amending St. Helens Municipal Code Section 8.12.090 regarding weeds and grass inside city limits. Ordinance number 3224, an ordinance to amend the City of St. Helens Comprehensive Plan map for certain property from the highway commercial designation to the general commercial designation to the zoning district map from highway commercial zone to general commercial. And ordinance number 3225, an ordinance amending St. Helens Municipal Code Charter or Chapter 3.20 regarding transient room fees. I thought it was first reading. First reading. Yes. Hey, I got her this time. Usually it's her telling me what I'm wrong. Okay. Approve and authorize for signature. A, easement agreement for trail located at 2480 Gable Road.
Move we authorize for signature 7A.
Second.
Okay, motion's been seconded to approve and authorize 7A. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Okay, appointments to city boards and commissions. Do we have any?
I do. I would like to make a motion to appoint Leah Tollinson to take my position on the budget committee this year.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to appoint Leah Tollinson to the budget committee. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Consent agenda for approval. A, OLCC license. B, council work session, executive session, and regular session minutes dated January 17th, 2018. C, request for proposal for judicial service. D, request for proposal for prosecutorial services. And E, accounts payable bill list.
I move we approve agenda item 9A through E is read.
Second.
Okay, motion been made and seconded to approve 9A through E as read. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, well, you kids showed up at a very quick meeting tonight. There was just a lot of reading and stuff. I hope that you maybe heard something here that will help you out in your class, but we do a lot of our work in the work session throughout the day where we talk about a lot of these things, and then we put them on the agenda for tonight, and we just do a lot of voting. So if it seems like we already have our minds made up, kind of did, but we don't make the decision in that meeting, we make the decision in this meeting. And then, so I just want to point that out to you, that there's, we probably worked it for about, I think till about 3:30, 1 o'clock to 3:30 today. So sometimes they go on till 5:30. So, let's see, I don't really have much to report other than, we're continuing to move forward with the waterfront. Still looking at possibilities for um, the entire waterfront, the Cascade tissue paper, the lagoon, the ferry. I still want to push that ferry idea. Maybe we could just put that on the agenda for a little bit of discussion next, just to discuss a ferry. It's worth at least
Again.
yeah, it's worth a discussion. So that's all I have to report on. So, Council President Morton.
Yeah, I have some plans, some conceptual plans here that have turned into, I think, pretty much finalized plans, and I'll
Ooh.
let you look at this. And what I need that one. I need that one. Oh, that's all right. Have you folks got these by chance yet? I know Neil and Sue have, and I think Jacob has. Let's get those back.
For the Veterans Memorial.
So this is St. Helens Veterans Plaza at McCormick Park. So the plaza is almost self-descriptive as you look at it. This is huge improvement. And so now as you look over at and visit Veterans Memorial off the parking lot at McCormick Park, you'll notice that just the part of the existing part where the cannon is now is just that little red area in front of the two memorials. And what we're what we're adding in the design is this entire section that continues on out into the future monument. Now that monument we're going to have to run by the Arts and Cultural Commission. That's a new monument, and make certain that they get the approval of that. And that sets back where the flagpole is, all the way back there and in that area. And there's also different phases of this, and there's the other smaller monuments to pay tribute to the different departments of the military in front of that monument, and supposedly some banners or flags put in that area. As you'll see in that, opposite the gazebo, there's another covered section. It's rectangular, and that's where the veterans during the Veterans Day ceremonies will be seated. The dimension of that is 40 by 20, which should facilitate a couple hundred veterans to sit under there. I mean, it's big. It's huge.
Yeah, it's stage. It says a stage too, right?
It could be a stage.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's all kinds of potentials and possibilities for this, other than just an area for the ceremony for Veterans Days and Veteran Days events.
I like it.
We're excited about it. We've worked hard on it. It's been a collaboration between volunteer groups, the cities, and with Jen Dimshow doing a substantial amount of work here. The volunteer groups from Andrew Nemi, Lower Columbia Engineering has volunteered his time. The veterans, individuals from the veterans step forward to not only facilitate their input into this design, but also to help with financial merits to fund this. Mostly the money's coming from our grant that Jen Dimshow got from the state parks. And I'm very encouraged to present this to the council. And we're going to have with our next Parks Commission meeting They will look at this, make a recommendation to the council. The council then will go ahead, but this is the initial plan. I don't think it will change because all the design people who are stakeholders who were involved with this all agree that this is it. So this should be in order. I think we'll be very proud of this achievement when it happens. Anyway,
So,
that's it.
um,
No questions about any of this.
I just don't feel that it needs to go in front of the Arts and Culture Commission. It says it's not public art.
There's a monument there, and in the Arts and Cultural Commission, like the volcano, it was might not have been looked at as an artwork, but it was a monument. And so this going in front of the Arts and Cultural Commission because it is a monument, and that verbiage is in the Arts and Cultural Commission, and it was challenged, if you recall, back at that time when we were doing this, that one of the candidates or one of the individuals from the Arts and Cultural Commission spoke out about these being monuments, and that's why we put it in front of the Arts and Cultural Commission in its initial stages when we did those first two monuments. So recalling that, we're running it through the Arts and Cultural Commission for their opinion and their recommendation to the council. We could look at that if it's an issue and overwrite it possibly, but I don't think they would have any problem with it, do you?
I certainly hope not.
Yeah. So that monument there will have the names of veterans who've given their life through from the Vietnam War and the Middle East wars, and so it's a maypole. And then plus the fact that there was a history teacher, and I'm not certain if that history teacher is a St. Helens history teacher or not, but he did some research on World War II KIAs, killed in action, and found like 30 names that were left off of the first initial monument, and so there'll be an additional monument placed adjacent to those existing monuments, so making certain that the accuracy of their names are indeed involved, because we don't want to put something up that is that's leaving people out for sure.
Nope, we don't want to do
And I think in doing that, we'll leave some additional space for other names, even for World War II, if further research finds other names, that we're going to leave some space to allow those names to go in that place. So it just anticipated from what has been done here. So there's going to be a huge attempt to make everything as harmonious as possible to the existing design. The one thing that you might also notice on here is the moving of the Howitzer. The Howitzer is moved from the front part of this over into what we consider as a more possibly a more secure place, and it will be on a pedestal of some sort. It will be raised, and thus, in a sense, that might be looked at as a monument as well, because we want to secure it as possibly as much as we possibly can without possibly bolting it down. Not secure it permanently, but secure it. Any questions about this? Before it goes to the Parks Commission, before it goes to Arts and Culture, and before we get a recommendation. Thought I'd give you a sneak preview and let you know what we've been up to.
I think it covers up that whole. This is where I see the bulk of people anyhow, and that's perfect because you have that already gazebo there. and it's going to look very nice.
Well, you can envision on the rectangular coverage of the structure that it will be high enough and it'll be kind of a shed roof so the veterans can look out and see behind that new monument to the left there is the flagpole, so that they can look out in their wheelchairs, in their seats, without having to get up and seeing the flag raised. And that's very important. So Andrew and everyone took into account where the roof line would be so that they could partake in that ceremony. Those kinds of things are very important to many veterans going to those ceremonies.
Having attended a couple times in past years, in November, the weather is yucky, the ground is really lumpy, and anybody with any kind of mobility issue is really treacherous just to get over there to a folding chair on squishy ground.
Yep.
So it'll make it a lot safer, a lot more honorable.
Oh, it's going to be great. It really is. So we've all noticed that in that area, and that's the whole reason for that plaza. Another reason to take into account with the Parks Commission in mind is that there are a few people on the Parks Commission who would like to pull up to that area and see the vast area that McCormick Park gives you as an ambience of a landscape, to be able to look back there. So this is pretty much relatively flat from the viewing area. You'll be able to see through it and see into the depths of McCormick Park. So I think we considered everything that we possibly could from what we had to work with.
Super.
So that's what we've been up to. Thanks.
Thanks, Doug. Councilor Locke.
Just want to report that the youth council right now is kind of in one of its little downturns. We're in need of more students. If anybody has any young,
Maybe he can give us
people,
that update, Keith.
Hmm?
Maybe David can give us that update.
well, he's got
gonna
other
get
things.
his turn.
He's got other things to talk about.
Okay.
So we're gonna try and do some things to. It's always been kind of cyclic where it goes up and down and whatnot. So we'll do some research out there and get a few more people on board, hopefully. So
Anything else?
that's it.
All right. Councilor Carlson?
Just one thing is I haven't made it up there to the gift shop that we have for the Halloween town, but I had just seen a post that they're going to have the Easter Bunny there the weekends leading up to Easter. So a lot of times during the mega egg hunt, you don't have time and the line's too long that you can't get up to sit with the Easter Bunny. And it's a very stressful time for little kids and stuff. So I think I'm excited for a new opportunity for families local that doesn't put all the pressure on the Easter weekend, when you never know what the weather's going to be like or who's going to be sick. But it's one more cool, fun thing to do on Main Street. It's just, I'm excited to see that opportunity for family fun. That's all I have.
Okay. Councilor Khan?
On an announcement I made earlier today about the Columbia County Job Fair, I failed to give all of the information, and it's going to be held at the Columbia City Community Hall on April 6th, and it's going to be 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And if you're interested in contacting someone about a vendor application, you would contact keepitlocalcc@gmail.com. I just figured I better give the directions
Yep.
along with it.
Thank you.
That's it.
Youth Councilor David?
So to add on to what Keith was saying about us being in a bit of a down at the moment, we're trying to talk to a couple people, and I believe one of them was the debate teacher. What was his name, Jenny? Okay.
Can't remember the trend of the conversation.
It was the government teacher. It was
Oh, that's Mr. Mewson.
yeah, Mr. Mewson. So we were going to talk to Mr. Mewson to see if he had any kids in debate class to see if they wanted to maybe join youth council. And then we were also deciding whether or not how we wanted to get our next mixer started. We talked about either creating a bunch of handout cards, because we have it in our budget, to make a bunch and then hand them out to try and get more people to come. We also discussed maybe like creating like an event, like a pickup. Like we go out and we start picking up trash around the parks and stuff like that to see if we could have people join us that way. I believe that was the main ideas that we came up with. And one of the other things that we talked about at the meeting were how can we make the schools feel a little bit safer. And we also talked about the walkout, if you guys know about that. We were thinking about talking to a couple people about what that would like make it safe and stuff like that. Because students just walking out of class without designation would seem a bit odd.
Okay, good job. Let's go start down here. I already talked to Jacob enough. Sue? Neil? Margaret? Matt? Kathy? Really?
Whoa.
John's got something.
So tomorrow Councilor Khan and I are going to go to the Colpac meeting in Tillamook. It's Tillamook, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the purpose of that meeting, among other things, is to update it's called the CEDS. It's a Community Economic Development Strategy. And a number of our projects are already on there. It was out of date, but it was now that our waterfront wasn't on it, now it is, and that establishes regional priorities. And the governor's office and the regional solutions team gets to be a part of that. And my thought for us, some draft amendments to that document, which kind of serves as each community has their own list of priorities, and they don't necessarily compete with each other, but it's kind of the regional document all in one place. And is that given the interest in a regional tourism and countywide tourism, we're trying to define what that means, and what the city of St. Helens has managed to do very well over the last number of years with our tourism investments is to push that into the community economic development strategy as a project. And it wasn't so many years ago that tourism wasn't really considered economic development, and now it seems like it is. And I just wanted to get the council's thoughts on that. Include that. It doesn't really mean anything other than if it's in the plan, then it's more likely to have priority to be funded. So.
I think we've been doing the work for a while. That's might as well be on the list.
Right. That's kind of my thought.
And I like the regional approach. I like having it listed as one of our priorities.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's it.
Yep.
Okay. Would anybody like to make any comments out there before I close this? Yeah, come on up and you want to speak at the mic or you just?
I just have a question.
Okay.
Mike.
Earlier, I'm sorry, I don't know your name, but earlier you talked about there only being one Easter bunny and how it's troublesome for parents. Why not hire multiple people to dress up as the Easter bunny and place them in different areas? Then grown-ups can go to different areas, so there's more than one place to take pictures.
It would be awesome to do that. The Mega Egg Hunt is 100% volunteers.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if Keith can elaborate, but I think it's something like 90 volunteers that put on the Mega Egg Hunt. And it's one 5-hour extravaganza that they do with all volunteers that's 100% free. So I think that offering something else during other days, if for whatever reason people can't make it there, or maybe just in a crowd situation, maybe your kids are like, I have a son that has emotional special needs, and when he was 5 or 6, there's no way I could have gotten him to that Mega Egg Hunt. It's too many people, so it's just other choices. We as counselors always hear there's nothing to do. What do families do? And so it's just one more thing. You know, there are a lot of things going on. Sometimes it's just a matter of there isn't a list out there for everybody to see everything.
And Pat?
Yeah. Right, good.
Thanks.
So one thing I can give you kids out there is the ordinance that somebody was trying to correct me on. We had discussed and staff had put in a packet for us to look at earlier. Then it goes for a first reading. And the reason that is being that way, before it becomes adopted, we'll have this reading and then the next meeting, so 2 more weeks from now, there'll be another reading. That'll be the final reading. At least 2 in order for it to pass an ordinance. Do 2 readings of it. So, but then it becomes law, pretty much. That's the way it is. And then you can resolute it after that, but it might help you out in your class having that information. So, with that,
Yeah, and one other thing, could I get these back because they need to go before our commissions and
Oh.
committees? I appreciate
I
it.
folded mine right now.
It's okay.
It's clean.
For the mayor, you can put it up in there.
I don't have this one.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you much.
Indian giver.
None for you.
Yeah, no kidding. Even one that's folded. Okay, we're adjourned.